and custom designs. I'm Ron Phillips, co-owner of Romika Designs. We offer custom laser engraving services for a variety of products, including promotional items and corporate or personal gifts. With state-of-the-art equipment and a team of skilled designers, we can engrave intricate designs on virtually any material. Whether it's a special message, a company logo, or a custom design, Romika Laser Engraving will help you make your mark. And the best part, our prices are affordable and turnaround time is quick.
I couldn't be happier with the work Romika Laser Engraving did for me. The engraving on my product was precise and exactly what I wanted.
So don't wait any longer to add a personal touch to your products. Call Romika Laser Engraving and Custom Designs today at 817-400-4040 or visit our website at romikadesigns.com. We look forward to helping you make your mark.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1820. 855-325-1820. That's 855-325-1820.
Okay.
It's like we could do a dance show.
I know. We're like, I love our opening song. Our song is so cool. I love the beat. It's fun. Well, I'm Sonia V.
I'm Eva Iguaran.
Welcome to A Common Thread.
The wins, the losses, and the curveballs in life.
Yes, ma'am. Life is all of that. So how's your week been?
I don't even know what to say about this week. It's gone by pretty quick. Nothing super eventful. I had to clean up dog poop before coming.
Oh.
We have a new puppy in our life.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
What kind of dog?
A golden sheepadoodle.
Golden sheepadoodle.
This is not my dog. It's my daughter's dog.
Oh, yeah.
But she did not want to clean up poop.
Of course not.
And this was the curveball before getting here.
That was the curveball. Because sometimes curveballs are not necessarily like really serious things. Sometimes they are. But sometimes it's cleaning up dog poop.
This felt very serious. I was like, why have I raised kids who are afraid to touch poop?
Yeah.
But anyway, on that note, Audrey had a good excuse because I put her on a project. And so she had an excuse. I said, the next poop you're cleaning up. But I had her on a project because since today we're talking about friendship. And what is today, Sonia?
Actually, interestingly enough, ironically enough, we decided, what are we going to talk about today? And when we were talking about it, we said, okay, let's talk about friendship. And then this morning I had the day off today. So I had a bunch of doctor's appointments. I was at my chiropractor appointment. And they have like on their like wall, they have like today is National whatever day, right? And right in the middle, it said today is National Friendship Day. And I said, well, how ironic is that?
Did you look it up?
I didn't look it up, but I asked the girl who worked there and she said, yes, today is National Friendship Day.
They're always making up a day for something.
Well, hey.
And we chose this topic not knowing that today was the day. So, hey, take your friends out tonight.
Post pictures on social media. Look, we'll take one right now. No.
We can. We'll do that after.
We'll do it after, during the commercial.
But yeah, so I put Audrey to a project and she made something from my childhood, a friendship bracelet for you.
Oh, gosh, now I feel like a bad friend.
So just Just look.
Oh, is that why you were asking me about the colors?
Yeah, so this is like from the 80s. All of you who are listening on radio and aren't watching the YouTube channel. This is something from my childhood. We used to do the little string
friendship
bracelets. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and she told me she liked red and black. So it has red, black, and brown.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I feel like a bad friend now. Now I gotta take you
No,
out.
wait. And
oh my gosh. Now she's gonna add something to it.
And yellow is for friendship, and that's your favorite color, red. So I got her a red carnation and a yellow mum for
And
friendship.
look, she is throwing me under the bus.
No, I'm not. I just
on live. Oh my god,
I don't know that-
tangled here on live TV or whatever you
Oh,
want
we
to
have
call this,
somebody
radio.
calling in. They want to say we love you, Sonia. No, just joking. Nobody calling.
Just somebody's calling in. We're just having a lot of fun today. Okay, well, thank you. That's very
Yeah.
thoughtful. Yellow. So yellow means what?
Yellow is supposed to be friendship. It's falling apart. It's already fallen apart.
What kind of flower is that?
That's a mum, and then I guess a red carnation because you told me red was one of your favorite.
I'm sorry, my
colors.
eyes are kind of teary, so if I'm rubbing my eyes, that's why.
It could be that you're allergic to a mum.
I don't think so. Never.
And I don't think they smell good. Mums and carnations usually.
Carnations a little bit. I think mums don't really,
Mm.
but they're
So,
pretty.
I don't know if that's a mum. You can correct me if you can see the.
If
the
you guys can
flower.
see the flower, correct us if it's not a
Yeah.
mum.
So red carnation
Mum-
because
Mum's the word.
mums,
The word.
the word of the day.
Anyway, I don't know what's wrong with me.
We've got the giggles.
Got the giggles today. Gosh, well, that's good. I'd rather be happy than crying, right? So again, oh, can I have a tissue? By the way, yeah, there we go. That's what I need right now. So anyway, today is national. On that note, today is National Friendship Day, and we did not know that until actually, I didn't know that until this morning.
So that's pretty awesome.
So then I sent a text, and I was like, "Guess what today is?" Everybody was like, "Oh, that's so awesome and cool!" And you guys we're doing that today. So Eve and I have talking about friendships. We've been friends now, gosh, almost 16 years. Like early, actually, I think it's because I moved here to Texas in September of 2009, and we probably became friends
So
like
do the
2
math.
months, like 2 months later, I think.
Yeah, let's just count the whole thing.
Well, my youngest was a baby, and he's 16 now, so
Mhm.
it's been 16 years.
Okay.
That's
there
a
you
long
go.
time, almost 2 decades. Wow.
So I wanted to do a shout out to somebody who decided to make this her passion. Shasta Nelson. She's the friendship expert.
Oh,
And so I spent my time listening to some of her TED Talks earlier today.
okay.
And she is the girl that one of my friends shared her name whenever I was trying to guide my daughter, my first daughter, she's 22 now. I was trying to guide her on how to make friends. So I was trying to give her some tips, but I really didn't know much about it. And so I was like, there must be someone out there who has advice.
And what you have to say?
Well, she had a lot to say.
Mm.
Friendship is not like how we remember it as kids, as more intuitive now. As the older you get, I think it gets more difficult. Maybe it shouldn't. Like, I guess we should know it should be.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it can be difficult because of life being busy, but I think it also can be easier because I think you're more selective about who you let.
Well, we
into
should
your
get
life.
better at this, right?
We should. Yeah, I
So,
agree.
we should be experts ourselves
Yeah.
already. But so, yeah, she says a lot. She says 3 different things that we need for good friendship.
Okay.
So the first thing is positivity.
Okay.
And if you don't have positivity, the relationship could, I guess, not be
So you're saying
as fulfilling.
So you're saying receiving and giving positivity, like.
Yeah. So she was explaining that let's say for every like sad thing, because we're not going to try to say, oh, well, I don't want to talk to you. You're just full of sadness or full of grief or full of just whatever. But for everything that's like sad or negative, there should be 5 deposits of joy.
Oh, okay.
So there's a ratio and a balance there. So that's why they say like some people like kill your joy or suck the energy. So if they're not balanced with that and they're just always full of negativity or they're always full of sad things or whatever, but always, and I'm not saying like we go through seasons, right?
Right.
But like typically or whatever. So for there should be deposits of 5 to 1 ratio.
So for every one negative or sad, whatever, then there should be 5 positive. Okay.
And maybe that's experiences with a person. So maybe you've gotten into an argument that might be a negative, because we do have, every friendship might have some disagreements, but for that disagreement there also needs to be, I think, some common ground, common happiness, common joys that we share in life, because we're going to share through people's grief, but we also, so I think it's just finding that balance in the friendship.
I would say that's true. You know, even when we were going through like the really heavy stuff 10 years ago, even in that, there were moments of like happiness and joy. Like, you know, my oldest son was quite a hoot. He was very funny. And there were times that, like, for instance, a funny time was, I wasn't there for this, but my late husband was. And anyway, some doctors came in and they said, you know, we're going to need to do some type of procedure, whatever that was. And my 9-year-old at that time said, I didn't authorize this. And my husband was like, you're 9. You don't authorize anything. So when he said that, of course, we laughed hysterically. It was really funny. And there were other moments that were funny. So although it was a very sad time, there were, you know, there were moments of like funny and joy. And even when friends would come and visit, we had moments that were fun. You know, it wasn't always like doom and gloom.
So you need that in a relationship. That's the number one thing that she talks about is positivity.
I love that.
The second thing, and she ends up putting it like in a triangle, the things that you need.
Okay.
So you need positivity, and then you need consistency on one side of your triangle. So the hours that you have invested in somebody. So sometimes people will say, oh, I don't have friends, or I had this friend. Well, did you call them? Did you make a date? Did you say, hey, let's meet for coffee? Did you do a dance party? Did you create what is it called that you did that time? Karaoke night. Did you?
Oh, yeah.
And like invite people to be in that circle or to be in your circle. Like you can't always blame other people. So it needs to be, she put it hours logged. And that consistency, if you have that consistency with someone where you see them quite often, that's where the trust happens.
Okay. Well, you know, you say that, I had like 1,000 thoughts in my head that I want to share, but
for consistency.
Well, yeah, you know, an example of that. I mean, look, we understand that, you know, personalities, you know, some people are introverts, some people are extroverts, but even introverts need some social time. You know, the difference between introverts and extroverts is that an extrovert gets their energy from in social events, right? Introverts get their energy from time alone, but they still need some social time. And so, like, my youngest is introverted, and you know, he was his first year at high school this year, 9th grade, public school. He went to Christian school all his life, same Christian school for the last 10 years, same friends. So now he had to come out of his comfort zone, right? Anyway, so being mom, I get concerned. I'm like, why does it, even he goes to golf and he does other things. It's at school, but outside of school, he doesn't really like hang out with that many friends that often. So like, he was like, well, I don't know if they come over, what are we going to do? Like, I don't have any. I said, well, you have your video game system. Oh, but I only have one controller. So I said, okay, I'll get you another controller. So we did that. That was like a stocking stuffer for Christmas. Then, so I get it for him. And I'm like, oh, now you can invite your friends is what I said. So his response was, I don't know. I'm not good at hosting. I'm like, what 15-year-old uses the word hosting? I said, we're talking about Cheetos here and like, maybe taquitos or something like that. We're not talking about like a charcuterie board, right? So then he goes, I said, well, and I'm sorry, you're gonna invite friends then. I said. He goes, oh, you're gonna force me? I said, you betcha I am, because if I don't, you're not gonna do it. But I have to be patient because he's not me. I'm very social and he's not like that, and that's okay. But
Well, it is harder these days, and that is a little intimidating. I will give it to him because I know that when certain friends come over to play with my daughter, there's, some have to be entertained more, and they're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to eat? What are we going to, and it's like, it's constant instead of just like being or like trying to find something to make together. It's just my daughter struggling to entertain.
well,
So
yeah,
it can be.
It can be. I think.
It could
I
be
think it's. I
possible.
think
It could be
attention
difficult.
spans are.
Yeah.
Attention spans are shorter now, so people kind of go to the next thing like really quick. I get that, and I'm not saying he has to invite like 20 friends. I'm talking about like one or two.
Mhm.
Like a small group. I get it, but I did tell him, in order, kind of like the consistency, in
Mhm.
order to make friends, you got to be a friend.
Right.
So
And there's different things. Well, we can get into that in a little bit, but I don't know if you want to hear the third one.
yeah, of course.
So vulnerability,
Mm,
and that's pretty huge.
yes. What is vulnerability in a friendship? What do you, for you, what does that mean?
That means that that I feel comfortable with the other person to share stuff that might be dark or might be sad or might be intimate or might be um, a secret, or just whatever. Like you feel comfortable enough to let your guard down and share.
Yeah, look, we know that not all friendships are alike.
Right.
So there's like, I think it was this lady.
Mhm.
So there's five I don't know, I think it's five. Correct me if it's not five, but there's like different levels of friendship, right? So a one would be like someone that maybe that,
An acquaintance.
an acquaintance,
Mhm.
not really, maybe kind of on a friendship level, but on the lower level. Then you have a two, and then so on and so on. So five would be your like deepest kind of relationship, where you might only have like one or two friends like that. You're not going to have a lot of people that you're going to share like your, those
Deepest.
skeletons in the closet kind of
Right.
thing, that you can trust that they'll go to the grave with, that kind of
And
thing.
you shouldn't. You shouldn't do that with everyone.
No, you shouldn't. I wouldn't recommend hanging all of your dirty laundry with a lot of people, because not everybody has your best interest, and people can gossip. So definitely, whoever that one or two people are, that tribe, the small tribe you have, you'll know, because it's not going to be somebody you're going to necessarily meet like today and share those things tomorrow. That might be 6 months down the line, once you like develop trust. And how is trust developed? Well, you know that they're not going to go back and tell people, right? So that's one way. What other way can you build that kind of vulnerability with somebody?
I think it's just spending time. And as you spend time with the people who you care about, I think it starts to grow, that like the shared stories, the bond. Um, you feel like you can trust that person. And so you're sharing parts of your life that you don't share just with everybody. And you are vulnerable. You open up.
Vulnerability is hard. It's like,
Do we need a definition?
yes, what is the definition of vulnerability?
We would like to hear your comments. So, on this radio show, we haven't got into where we can answer questions, but if there is a comment you want to make and we can address it next week, um, you definitely can do that.
We would love that. We would love more interaction for sure. So let's see what the definition, Webster's dictionary or whatever dictionary on there.
So it says generally refers to the state of being open to physical, emotional, psychological harm or attack.
So basically, well, okay, so basically I'll redefine that.
Mhm.
Basically opening yourself up. So like sharing something that somebody could possibly use that against you. Like on here, right? Like we come on here and we know that not everybody is going to agree with everything we say, and that's okay. We don't expect everyone to agree with everything, but us being here we're putting ourselves out there for a possibility of somebody not agreeing with us and saying something. And again, we welcome the questions, right? But that's part of being vulnerable.
So involving sharing personal thoughts, feelings, and beliefs.
Mhm.
To put it simple.
Yes. So, okay. What did she make any other points, or those are the main three?
Those were the main three. She spoke about the epidemic that we have in our country. You can look at it through different countries as well. So I want to believe that Finland might be the happiest country. I always thought or had this belief based on some other things that I had studied about, thinking that those were very dark and lonely countries. But Finland, when they did the poll or whatever, is a very happy country.
Okay.
United States used to be, I want to say, in the 11th place.
Where are we now?
I can't quote. I think we've dropped maybe in the 20s or something like that.
Well, that wouldn't be surprising though.
So we used to be higher up, the United States, but it's really because of I would say just the epidemic of loneliness here. I would blame it on 2020, but
Yeah, no. I mean, that would be part of it. I mean, that was 5 years ago, and actually that created a lot of
it was unprecedented,
loneliness.
the amount of depression and loneliness just from the isolation aspect.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. I think though that although we're in a time that social media has created like this space of connecting us closer to other people, but it also we're behind a screen. So sometimes like there'll be people in the same room with us and we don't even socialize with them. And I'll see it like, with young people. There'll be like 10 of them in a room and they're all on their phones. And I'm like, can you guys talk to each other? Like you're right next to each other. Like put the phones down. And things like, you don't want to be like ugly about it, right?
We've
Like
all seen that, and it's hard. I like the places that you go in and you're supposed to drop the phone in the basket or something. They don't allow the kids to take the phones to camp. You're just now I think, well, that might be something that I would personally change, but it was for a reason that you don't take the phones to camp. It's for many reasons, but it's to facilitate friendship.
mhm.
So that you're not on the game like, look here, look at my phone.
I think it's okay to like I've heard of some places where like you go and they do that kind of thing, drop your phone. I think allowing like an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening I think is fine. Because that's a healthy like at least you can check your phone if there's phone calls you need to make, family members you need to get in touch with, whatever. But outside of that, I know I spend too much time on my phone. I mean, and I'm 52. So imagine teenagers are kids who have grown up with it. I didn't have my first phone until I was like, gosh, I think 30. So it's been 20 years. I was like a grown adult when I got my first phone. And it was like a Nokia.
So the point, talking about social media and our phones, the point isn't because we have so many friends, right?
Mhm.
If you looked on our Facebook account, it may be in the thousands or it could be in the hundreds. We have so many connections and what some people would say, oh, this is a friend. But the point isn't to keep adding to that unless you're just trying to make money through social media. But we should be moving people up not adding more people.
What do you mean moving people up?
So moving people up into the, like, let's say I only have like one close friend. Well, let's see who we can pour into and develop that friendship and really concentrate on, not concentrating on numbers like Facebook often does or social media platforms often do. It's like, oh, look, like none of us should be lonely if you look at the numbers. The
Right.
numbers say, wow, Eva has how many friends on Facebook? She's never lonely. But the point isn't to add more friends because that's not really fulfilling the loneliness. It's about quality over quantity.
Right. I agree. We need to have more
So
quality friendships.
How can we pour into?
Well, I think that, sometimes a simple check-in. It could be just a text. It doesn't even have to be a phone call always, unless that person is the type of person that likes to be on the phone. But
Which I will say I am.
I am too. Just put it out there.
The common thread. We
Yeah.
like to talk on the phone.
Yeah, I can spend a long time on the phone.
Yeah, I was mortified by one person. I don't know if you've seen those little questionnaires that sometimes go out through Facebook that will say like my favorite color and I like to travel. And
Oh yeah.
so I was reading through one of those for one of my friends, and it basically said on one of the lines that they didn't like to talk on the phone.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, interesting. Now it all makes sense. The conversations always seem to be quite short.
Oh, okay. So
And
now you know.
So now I know.
So it wasn't anything you said or did. It
Mm-mm.
was just that
They just don't like talking on
they
the
don't
phone.
like talking on the phone, and that's okay. But I think a quick check-in with someone, if there's someone in particular that you feel like you connect more with when you do see them, then I would say, again, if you want friends, you got to be a friend. Just send a text. It literally takes like 10 seconds to send a text like, hey, just checking in. How you doing? And most people will respond. Maybe not 5 minutes later, but they'll respond by end of day usually. And hey, was just thinking about you. Hey, what are you doing next week? What's your week look like? Maybe we can go out for coffee or something, or maybe we can have like a phone coffee thing. It could be like a FaceTime thing or whatever. And just talk on the phone for an hour.
Sounds good, Sonia. So we really want you to come back for the second half. We're going to talk about
there we are.
we will talk about the effects of loneliness and the epidemic that most of the world is facing. We want you to come back, but on this break, if you will text a friend and let them
Yes.
know you got homework.
Yes, and we're going to talk about the biblical aspects of friendship as well. So we're excited about that, to see what the Bible has to say about what it is to be a friend and what friendship looks like.
And if you're having any struggles with friendship right now, it might be a good time to invite them to listen to the second half.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
Have you ever met a single person in your life that enjoys paying taxes? No, no one does. If you can't sleep at night because you have a huge problem with the IRS, I've got some free advice for you. This service is strictly limited to individuals that owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes. And if you qualify, we can guarantee that you won't be writing a big fat check to the IRS, or our services cost you nothing. The first 100 people that call today will get a free tax consultation worth $500. Stop worrying about your IRS problem. We can help you, we promise. Call the tax doctor right now. I mean right now, to learn more. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. 800-240-4587. That's 800-240-4587.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. 800-978-4812. That's 800-978-4812.
Welcome back to part 2 of A Common Thread. I'm Sonia V.
I'm Iguaran.
I love when she says her name. And she says it with like such sass. Well, we have some commercials. NTX Radio proudly serves all of North Texas and can be heard all over the world on TuneIn Radio Network and on the NTX Radio app, available on Android and Apple CarPlay, or just ask Alexa to play NTX Radio. Check out our lineup and more at ntxradio.com. We thank our valued sponsors in helping us amplify the voices of North Texas communities and businesses. So, protect your family with a will or trust. Connect with Todd Hurd and Associates at Law for all your civil law needs at texasattorneylaw.com. Processing credit cards? Join the Swipe Nation today and save on processing fees at swipenationusa.com. Locally owned and operated and will beat any rates. Got sleeves? Dress your arms and more at thetiffy.com for women's accessories and more, made in the USA. And it's time to take your business to the next level. Hosting a radio show and podcast is a powerful way to connect with a wider audience, build brand awareness, and drive sales. Let's discuss your business goals and how a custom show can help you achieve them. Email Tiffany at t.hurd, H-U-R-D, at ntxradio.com to get amplified. All right. That was fun.
So the question is, how, based on those 3 things, how can we practice to make a friendship stronger? Or what do we practice? This is a pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
So we're going to practice positivity, consistency, and vulnerability with the friends that we feel we want in our lives consistently. So positivity, consistency, and vulnerability. So by practicing, it's like the saying, practice makes perfect. So we're going to practice those 3 things, and we're not going to chalk it up to, well, they suck. We're going to take that mirror and look in it and say, well, maybe I'm not the best friend. I need to learn how to be a best friend, to have best friends.
Well, the positivity part, right? You know, we all need somebody to talk to, and that's great. And we all go through, like you said, seasons in our life. But friendship needs to be, you know, like when we have those nights, we did karaoke night, like that was a lot of fun. And, you know, every so often I have those we took some videos and I watch them and I like laugh, you know, and they're funny memories, you know, and you want to take that with you because, again, life is not only sadness. Life is not only anxiety or grief, although those things are part of life. But the common thread that we share is that our friendships consist of both. But I was unaware that really for one negative thing, you need to there needs to be 5 positive things. That I was not aware of. So now I can practice that because I was unaware of that.
So friendship is a science, apparently, thanks to Shasta. I learned that. There was a study, a surprising study done by Brigham Young University. It talked about loneliness. Loneliness being an epidemic. Just listen to this. It's equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes.
What?
It's also equivalent to being an alcoholic.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about the effects on your health, right? Loneliness is also equivalent to not exercising.
Oh, wow.
Loneliness is 2 times as harmful as obesity.
Wow.
This was again, I'm not making this up. It's a study done by Brigham Young University on loneliness and the effects that loneliness has on your body.
You know, it's funny how we focus so much and all these things, like the things that we need to, to be healthier, like water, sleep, all those things are necessary, eating healthy and exercise and sunshine and all that. All those things are great. But, there's something about being able to connect with other people that does something to the soul. So even if you're doing all those things, but don't have even a couple of close friends, we're really missing out on a healthier life, healthier emotional and mental health. So, I was doing some research. I mean, yours, you based it on your podcast, and I've listened to that one as well. Um, Signs of deep friendship, and kind of adds a little bit of a different thing too. What does it look like when a friendship goes to the next level? Maybe it's vulnerability, reliability, or showing up in tough times. Explore the markers of deeper connection and how to tell when a friend has crossed that line. Um, it does also talk about boundaries, but we could talk about that in a little bit because all relationships, all healthy relationships need to have them. Now you can have too many, and that's not good either. But you can have none, and that's not good either. So, how to find the balance of being able to have healthy boundaries with friendships, family, etc. So,
I will just share on that, the boundaries part. My mother, God bless her soul, she has a belief that if I don't have a good relationship with one of my siblings, I won't name names, basically I'm not going to heaven. So I do believe that this is not true, and I've tried to explain to her that biblically this is not correct. We do need boundaries. And some people that are not blood are closer. And closer than blood, you can have a friend that's closer than a blood relative. And I think of the story of Cain and Abel. They must have been best buddies at some point. Sadly, he took his brother's life. I don't know what he would say if he came back from them. I don't know if he would cut him off.
You mean Abel?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Or if they would have resolved their issue. But I do not believe that you have to be friends with everyone, even family members. It would be nice if we could all get along and share intimate moments and intimate thoughts. It doesn't happen with everyone. I don't think that friends should call you names. That's what am I trying to say? What would be one thing that you would say, okay, that's just not a friend?
You mean if
especially to your face. But imagine if somebody says it to your face, what are they saying behind your back? So if I call you a B to your face.
Yeah, that's probably not going to go well. I mean, yeah, I can imagine if somebody calls you that, what they're saying behind your back. Or perhaps I think the one thing for me that's like a no-no when it comes to friendships, my boundary is gossip. Like if you're talking about other people to me, like not like, oh, not talking about in the sense of like if they're going through a rough time and we're just like trying to help them kind of thing. We're talking about just like saying negative things or, talking behind their back. Why? Because if you're saying that about them, what are you saying about me? And so for me, gossip, I stay away from that because it can really tear families and friendships apart. So
So boundaries are good.
Boundaries are good. Just don't have too many because then you don't let people in. That's the vulnerability part,
Okay.
right? So you need to establish what that is for you. And, and it's okay to like, it's not something that we always talk about with our friends. Like you don't really say, oh, this is my boundary. I mean, I'm telling you what it is now here, but you probably didn't know that. Perhaps, I don't know. But I think we have them. I think it's when the person crosses the line that at that moment, maybe they didn't know. I mean, it could have been something very obvious. Like some things are very obvious you shouldn't do. Like there's very hard yeses and hard nos of what is acceptable, period, right? But then there's some things because of our culture or our upbringing or experience, all that maybe that other person did not know. And so we can educate them and say, hey, I didn't feel comfortable when you said or when you did XYZ. Now you can say it in the most caring, loving way, and that may mean that my mic just flipped over. And they may still take it wrong. But I think making them aware of that, and most people won't take it wrong. I think if they're, really a friend and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I honestly didn't really even know that." And they'll think twice about it the next time something like that comes up, right? So I think extending grace when somebody doesn't know, because it's not friendships, we don't really talk about those boundaries necessarily. It just kind of happens when the person crosses the line, and then we say, "Hey, XYZ." So,
And sometimes there's misunderstandings.
mhm.
And I've had this happen before where a friend just completely
Oh,
ghosted me, and I never had answers as to why,
hmm.
and it really hurt.
Yeah.
And that happened um not only to myself but my husband also. We were both hurt by this friendship, and we to this day we don't have answers. Like we've gone over it in our head, all the scenarios and all the different things and
Hmm.
what I could have possibly said or what he could have possibly did, or maybe it was the kids, maybe they just didn't like the kids, maybe it was the play date, or just stuff like that. Just trying to like overanalyze and figure out, especially when it feels like this is a close friendship and you feel like you have been vulnerable and you feel like you have given everything to the friendship. But a quote that I really like is God removes people from your life because he heard conversations you didn't hear.
That's a quote. Who said that? That's a good quote.
I believe it's I I wish I knew.
Is it like anonymous?
I thought it was a quote by Shasta, but I think that's an anonymous quote I found somewhere.
I love that.
And so I tried to process, my husband and I both tried to process
Mhm.
the loss, and we both tried to pinpoint it and figure it out. But that quote just gives me lots of healing.
Mhm.
So yeah, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah, with ghosting, that's tough. I've learned, or I'm learning, because again, I don't like to learn because that sounds like I already arrived. Learning, ing, like I'm still learning that sometimes it's not me. Because I actually have been, I guess not really. I guess it's kind of ghosted. Some it's been ghosted. Some has been like a text every once in a blue moon, like twice a year kind of deal, and then that'll be it. And I guess I think it just leaves the person on the receiving end that has been ghosted, like questioning like what they did, or uh did I say something? Did I do something? And then I'm just learning that sometimes it's not me. The person just may be going through something that I am unaware of. But it doesn't negate the fact that it's still hurtful, right? It still hurts you and your husband that happened with those friends. It's still hurtful to me when has happened to me. That's happened a couple of times over the last few years. And so it just leaves you like kind of wondering, and you're like, okay, just going to pray for the person because I don't know what else to do. And
And like you said, you don't know why. So maybe it, you could think about the scenarios like my husband and I did. Was it something you said or something you did? Was it something I said or something was it, like I said, the kids? But it could be that they had an issue. Maybe it wasn't a personal issue with you.
Right.
It could have been a season or a time, and then the time went by, and without really understanding from the other person, just kind of dropped off.
Yeah, it's unfortunate and sad. And that's the like vulnerability and transparency part. I think like there was one time this lady that I mean we're more like acquaintances, but I remember like I was reaching out to her. This was some years ago, and I said, "Oh, we can go get coffee or something like that, one of these days." And, and in her honesty, she said, "Hey, thank you so much for that. But I've realized that, like, she was going through some stuff, being a caregiver for her parents, etc. And then that kind of ended. I don't know if because of death or I'm not sure the circumstances, but I've just learned to like I'm just not good at hanging out with girlfriends or like having too many social things going on. I'd rather just be home and just be with my husband and and every once in a blue moon, like very once in a blue moon, then maybe I'll go out with a friend every so often." But I think her group, whoever that group was, is very short, like couple people, right? And I respected that. I was like, "Okay, thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that." And you know, no hard feelings. I get it. That's not everybody's thing. But I liked the honesty. And she said it in such a nice way. Like it wasn't like, "Oh, like leave me alone" kind of deal. So I think sometimes just I know honestly I do realize that not everything is that easy in the sense of like sometimes somebody's really going through something and it's hard for them to talk about it. And I get it. But even sometimes saying something like, if I'm going through something, then I could be like, "Hey, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm just right now, I'm just going through some stuff, but thank you. Just keep me in your prayers." And most people are going to be like, "Of course, absolutely." That's it. So I did want to share some Bible verses because you shared one. And I did want to share some Bible verses that kind of talk about uh friendship. So there's actually quite a few. Some of them are actually a lot of them are in Proverbs, but I'll read a couple of them. So Proverbs 17:17 says, "A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity." There was this quote, I can't remember the exact quote, like where it was a sermon that I listened to once, like, I don't know, a few years ago. And basically the gist of the sermon or the quote was like, you don't build it's like it's like the Bible story about the man who built his house on the sand and the one who built his house on the rock. So basically, you're building like a foundation for those moments of adversity, not in the storm, but before. You're preparing for it. And that's like, so we can apply the same thing to friendship. So friendships, you have your, fun moments and good times and all that. And, you share some intimate, conversations about life and whatever. And then something happens. Right. And so, but you built on that before the adversity happened. Now, can some friends come out of that adversity? Like I had people like that I wasn't really friends with, like that close during that time. And they were more like acquaintances, but then they came like full force, like became my like really cool friends. And I was like, wow, like wasn't expecting that. And so that's what I get from that quote. Like
And you can't fault those best friends that you feel are best friends if they're not there for you in that hard moment. That's what I tell people.
Yeah.
And this is what I've learned in life is when I'm going through something very hard and difficult, in my mind, I'm thinking of this one person, this one friend that I should call, but she may not be free at 12:30 at night when I'm having my lonely spell or I'm having a bad thought. They might not be available at 12:30, but I have this other friend that I know is a night owl and will take the call. So I can't fault the other one when there's another one that actually definitely. And then there's times where you're, like you said, you're surprised because you expected. And see, that's the bad part is these expectations that we have on each other. I'm expecting this friend to come through for me and she didn't. So then I'm mad about it. They don't even know. But I need to build up that friendship circle
Mhm.
tightly because I know that if I can't call this one, I can call that one.
Absolutely.
And that I have my people, somebody will be there. And I can't blame that on anybody else but myself because I'm going to put in the effort to build up these friendships so that when this adversity comes, that I can call in somebody. And then that adversity is going to build our friendship. And I know this probably past last year. One of those friends came through in such a powerful way. And they basically offered me any amount of money to help me with the issue.
Wow.
Like any amount.
Wow.
Like basically, here's my bank account.
Wow. Who's friend? Who was that friend? Can I be friends with that?
Yeah. I mean, it brought me to tears because I didn't
Wow.
know.
That's amazing.
I didn't know that I had that type of friendship.
Wow.
And that's when it makes you think, okay, see, that is also where you're like, I will continue to pour into that friendship because I know where we stand. And I want to reciprocate that and know that money is money. But when we're talking about lives, when we're talking about people, money shouldn't be a thing. Like if you have it, like I want to be that kind of friend that if I have it to give, I will give it because I see the need.
Mm.
And that there's no dollar amount because money is money, but people are people.
Right. Right.
So I would like to be, when that happened, I was just like, this is my new goal.
Wow. That's neat.
If I could tell you more, it might be another show
Yeah.
down the road.
No, but I agree. Like, I don't, I think we have like unmet, again, that's the whole boundaries thing. We have these unmet expectations, or we maybe expected certain people to be there and then they weren't. And, I've learned that it's hard to be in those moments of adversity. It's hard to be there. It's a difficult time and you don't know what to say. You don't know what to do. You want to help. And then you feel like helpless. You don't have the words. And so it's okay. If
And that's why you have your list, because you know the people who are the night owls, or you know the people who are good with grief. Because now I know that if I need to talk to Sonia, she's an expert.
well, I don't know. Don't put all that pressure on me.
I'm saying because of your study, like you have spent hours and hours knowing how to talk to your clients.
Well, I've learned that I'm not there to fix them, but to kind of guide them through their whatever they're going through, and helping that, because most people have their own answers. It's just guiding them through that. But yeah, exactly. Like, I think having like at least 3 people that like we kind of went like, oh, well, 1 or 2, but if you have 3, that probably is a good number. Because again, there's one a night owl, one a morning person, one that maybe in the middle of the day can be available.
One that laughs.
One that laughs
at your pain. There could be somebody who's just awkward.
Yeah.
They could be still a good friend. They just don't know how to deal with the painful stuff.
Yeah.
I think this is kind of funny. And then you can read another one of your
Sure.
Bible verses.
Go ahead.
It says you can't be everyone's cup of tea, especially when you're coffee.
I love that. That's so I
So
love
that's
that.
why your circle of friends needs to be diverse, right?
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, there's another one in Proverbs. It's right. So the one I just read was Proverbs 17:17. This one is Proverbs 18:24, and it says, "One who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. So, yeah, choose wisely. That's what I hear. That's basically what it's saying. Choose wisely. Don't, you know, it's hard because so when you're younger, like you're a teenager, you're so wanting to be accepted. And not that you don't want that at like when you're older, you still obviously want people to like you.
But now I've joined the premenopausal and menopausal crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know the girl on TikTok, but she's part of the I Don't Care Club.
Oh, okay. Is this one she has like short hair?
I think so. I should give her a shout out. I think it's like Melanie or something.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. But yeah, I mean, when you get to, older, I think you're just more selective about who your tribe is. And when you're younger, you're not as, you just kind of want to embrace everybody and include them. Let's see. I'm trying to see what other one. Oh, I love this one. John 15:13 says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. So,
and that's what I'm talking about. That story was a friend willing to give up her nest egg for me.
Like there's been times like I've been on the phone with friends like really late at night, and I've been on the phone with them for like 3 hours and I'm falling asleep. But that's not a thing that I do all the time. So if I have to sacrifice that one night of sleep, it's okay. They just need, and I don't even really say anything. I'm just kind of listening. And if they ask me for advice or ask me, what would you do? Then I'll say, well, this is what I would do. But if they don't, I just, oh, I'm so sorry. Kind of, just making sure that they know I'm paying attention. But so, I mean, I don't have maybe that kind of money to give, but I definitely have
the hours of and listening.
Well, because I definitely go to bed late, and I shouldn't go to bed that late. But yeah, I'm a night owl.
That is super important. And
yeah.
Enrique and I surely have found friends. I'll just tell you this really quickly. We had one friend. We are running out of time.
Yeah, well, we're going to save that.
Come.
Yes. So
on the next one.
Yeah. So we end with our favorite quotes, and this quote is from what my son was in the hospital. He said, "Don't give up. Hold on to Jesus.
Keep looking up."
We'll see you next time.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godley, this is the voice of Johnson County, Joco Community Radio.
Here's important new information from the Diabetes Solution Center for you, a family member, or diabetes. If you have lost your provider, or if you need a provider for diabetic supplies, you may qualify to receive your diabetic testing supplies now with little or no out-of-pocket cost.